Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Nurhazira binti Muhammad Swardi. My metric number is 2020X4663A and I'm from RAS 2036A. We will be presenting about the safe work procedure by using hazard identification, risk assessment, and risk control, which is HIRAC. So now I will explain about the objectives HIRAC at a polymer lab. Firstly, we need to understand the different types of hazards that presents in the laboratory. Secondly, we need to understand the main occupational hazard group and the health risks that certain workplace hazard pose, and lastly, to evaluate and risk assessment associated with the identified hazards and make recommendations on eliminating or reducing the risk of these hazards.
Hi, my name is Farhana Tasha binti Fazil, metric number 2020621094. Workplace safety is only achievable when everyone understands what hazard is and how to avoid, reduce or correct it. Some of this knowledge can be gained through a hands-on training, but understanding certain ideas through classroom, online coursework or hybrid training is also beneficial. With the assistance of this assignment, can increase the knowledge and awareness about the safety at the workplace by identifying hazards that exist.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Shamila binti Abdul Rahman. My matrix number is 2020620564. Next is definition of HIRAC. HIRAC is a compound word which is made up of 3 consecutive activities. The activities consist of hazard identification, risk assessment, and risk control. Hazard identification is the recognizing of things which may cause injury or harm to a people. For the risk assessment is the process of evaluating the risk to safety and health arising from hazards at work. And the last one is risk control. Risk control is the introduction of measures which will eliminate or reduce the risk of a person being exposed to a hazard.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nur Hafiza Ali binti Idris, metric number 2020820012, and I am from RAS 23068. And now, I would like to present about the advantages of having HIRACs. The first one is comprehensive hazard identification, which is to ensure that potential risks are not ignored and help create a safer workplace. Next, risk prioritization, which is to identify the most critical hazard that demand immediate attention. The third one is continuous improvement, which is to maintain a safe workplace and prevent dissatisfaction by updating the risk assessment and controls. The last one is cost saving. By identifying and removing risks in advance of incidents, potential costs can be decreased.
Assalamualaikum and good evening. My name is Muhammad Aiman Haikal bin Azhari. My metric number is 2020853076. I will explain about why we need HIRAC. HIRAC stands for Hazard Identification, Risk Assessment, and Risk Control. It is a systematic approach used to manage workplace health and safety risks. HIRAC is an essential process for organizations to ensure the safety and well-being of their employees and to prevent accidents, injuries, and illness in the workplace. Tasks and activities. There are several tasks and activities that we found in this workplace. First, rolling raw material using 2-roll machine. Second, rubber cutting process. Third, compressed material. Fourth, storage of chemical. Fifth, carrying powder. And sixth, carrying mold.
Table 2 shows the probability or likelihood values. There are 5 likelihood, and the first one is the most likely with the rating 5, and it is the most likely result of a hazard. The second one is possible with the rating 4, which has a good chance of occurring and is not unusual. Third is conceivable with the rating 3, and it might be occur sometimes in future. Next is remote with the rating 2, and it has not been known to occur after many years. And last but not least is inconceivable with the rating 1, which is practically impossible and has never occurred.
Severity is outcome from an event or exposure such as severity of injury or ill health. It can be divided into 5 categories. Severity are based upon an increasing level of severity to an individual injury or ill health. This table 3 indicates severity from the highest rating to the lowest rating. Catastrophic is numerous fatalities or irrecoverable such as occupational cancer or acute poisoning. Next is fatal, which is a serious bodily injuries involving approximately one single fatality or major property damage if hazard is realized. Major is non-fatal injury, which is involving non-permanent disability or ill health requiring medical treatment such as burn, sprains, minor fractures, etc. Next, the minor type is involving disabling but not a permanent injury. And lastly, negligible is minor abrasions which just require first aid and may need the remainder of the work period or shift off before being able to return to work.
Next, Table 4, Risk Metric Table. Risk can be calculated by using the formula relative risk is equal to likelihood multiplied by severity. As for example, likelihood is inconceivable, which is 1, but the severity is negligible, which is also 1. Thus, the relative risk is 1, which is below than 5, so the relative risk is low. When the likelihood is conceivable, which is 3, and the severity is minor, which is 2, so the relative risk is 6, which is the medium risk. For another example, when the likelihood is 5, which is the most likely, and the severity is 5, which is catastrophic, and the risk value is 25, which is a high risk.
And now we can go to the table 5, which is the risk value table. Risk value table shows the risk description and the action that we can take when an incident happened. The risk 1 until 4 is the low risk, which the level of risk that could result in a serious injury is low. In this level of the risk, we just can eliminate the risk quickly. The risk level 5 until 12 is medium risk, which this level of risk medium risk, actions should be dealt with as soon as possible. The risk level 15 until 25 is the highest risk level. In order to control this hazard, immediate action is required. Action taken must be documented on the risk assessment from including date for completion.
HIRAC form are consisting of 3 elements, which is hazard identification, risk analysis, and risk control. The first work activity is rolling raw material, which is the type of hazard is machine. The risk is hand get caught into the rotating parts. The existing control is safe work practice. The value of likelihood for these work activities is 4 and the severity is 3. Next, the second work activity is rubber cutting process. The hazard is excessive manual handling, which can give the effect of muscular stress. The value of likelihood is 3 and the severity is 1. The third work activity is compressed material, which is the type of hazard is temperature extremes. The risk is burning. The existing control is warning sign and training. The value of likelihood for these work activities is 3 and the severity is 3. The next work activity is storage of chemicals. The type of hazard is oxidizers, which can provide oxygen to a fire or react readily. The value of likelihood is 3 and the severity is 2. The fifth work activities is carrying powder, which is the type of hazard is air release, which can give a risk on human respiration system. The existing control is turning the fan and wear the face mask. The value of likelihood for these work activities is 2 and the severity is 2. The last work activity is carrying mold. The type of hazard is heavy load, which can give a risk of leg injury. The value of likelihood is 3 and the severity is 2.
Table 7 shows the rank of the task and remarks. For the first rank, the task is rolling raw material using 2 roll mill machine with 12 risk value. So the task is at high risk and it must be reduced immediately by eliminating the hazard by focusing while operating the machine. For the second rank is compressed material with 9 risk value. So the task is at medium risk, so no need to reduce immediately but still need to control by assisting trained person while using the machine. For the third rank is storage chemical with 6 risk value. So the task is also at the medium risk, so the users need to follow SOP for handling the chemical. For the fourth rank, the task is carrying mold with 6 risk value. The task is also at the medium risk but still need to control by wearing the safety shoes. Next, for the second last, which is 5th rank, the task is carrying powder with 4 risk value. The task is at low risk and it can be reduced quickly by wearing the face mask and turn off the fan before carrying the powder. And the last one, which is 6th rank, the task is rubber cutting process with 3 risk value and the task is at low risk. In conclusion, from our finding task, we found out that rolling raw material using 2 roll mill machine has highest risk because it has the highest risk value compared to the other tasks.
Propose an SOP based on finding. First, inspect the roller before starting and check to see which way the roller are turning by looking at the rolling direction switch. Second, use heavy-duty tool and take frequent break to stretch and rest our hand. Third, use a heat-resistant glove to handle high-temperature machine. Fourth, store the reagent and chemical at appropriate temperature and condition indicated on the container. Fifth, wear appropriate face mask when carrying chemical powder. And last, keep the load close to the body and keep the heavier side of the load next to the body to avoid uneven force on the spin.